Wolf, get away from those sheep.
Bollocks.
You're listening to the Wolf and the Shepherd podcast, broadcasting from Fort Worth in the great state of Texas. Now, get ready for this episode of the Wolf and the Shepherd.
Welcome to this episode of the Wolf and the Shepherd. Today we have another episode of In Other News, and once again we would like to welcome from On an Island with Pat Beaman. Pat Beaman, Pat, thanks for joining us once again for In Other News.
Max, Tristan, I tell you what, I wait all week for this.
Great. So let's hear our first news story.
Well, I've got some uplifting news this week.
Oh, good.
The last couple of weeks, there are a sporadic number of deaths caused by humans across the articles, whereas this week, most of the deaths are actually caused by animals. So,
all right. Well, that always makes it a little more lighthearted.
Right. So here's one,
okay.
Right? Just to kind of bring in the topic. Hundreds of lethal pufferfish full of poison, deadlier than cyanide, wash up on a beach in South Africa, killing a dog, a pet dog.
Well, is there a different kind of dog?
There's those stray ones.
Oh, like a feral dog? Like a coyote? But it was somebody's pet dog.
Yeah, because they're too far inland. I don't think we're going to get any pufferfish washing up, killing any dogs on North Tarrant Parkway.
Yeah. Are there coyotes in South Africa?
No, don't they have jackals?
Is it dingoes? They're dingoes, aren't they?
Yeah, they do have dingoes in Africa, but I don't know if that's the same bit of Africa.
Oh.
Just remember our geography with Africa is like South Africa and the rest of Africa.
Yeah, it's the big one over there in the middle of the globe.
It's the big bit, and then there's the small bit at the bottom.
Oh,
yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so pufferfish, though.
Pufferfish, yeah, washed up. I don't know how it killed the pet dog. I don't know if the pet dog actually ate one of the pufferfish or one of the pufferfish in its last throes of dying decided to kind of like bite, the dog, or I don't know if they kind of like spit their poison.
Don't they just puff out like a, what is that animal called? The porcupine? Doesn't the porcupine kind of puff out?
No. No, definitely not. No, I think he just kind of flexes, like he's at the gym and he's taking a selfie, and when he flexes, all his spines come out. That's how porcupines work. Same with hedgehogs. I've read it on the internet.
It's really a poorly written story if we don't know how the fish has delivered its poison.
So do you think porcupines have Instagram accounts?
Some of them have got to have, because I follow like about 4 or 5 Vizsla dogs on Instagram, and they're hilarious.
Yeah. How many followers do they typically have?
Oh, tens of thousands.
Yeah, more than us.
And they all look the same as well.
Do you think it's the same Vizsla dog with 5 different accounts?
It might be, because like I said, they all look the same to me. I mean, I've got a Vizsla, and if it wasn't for the fact she's as old as dirt and she's got white on her face, I wouldn't be able to tell her. If somebody swapped her out, I wouldn't know.
Does she have an Instagram account?
She does, but it's only got like 1 photo on it. So apparently Tess Gridley, who is an expatriate from Sheffield in England, and she's a doctor, she found hundreds of poisonous pufferfish washed up in South Africa, and she said that they're evil-eyed pufferfish. Now, the South African government has identified the creature, and it's actually called a lethal evil-eye pufferfish. That's the name, so it kind of get what you pay for with that name.
So there was the whole school of them, though, right?
Well,
or was it just one fish? I thought you said there was
lots of them, thousands of them, mate.
Yeah, so
it says hundreds in the article, and then it goes on to say thousands. So I don't know who's counting them.
Gotcha.
Right. Dr. Gridley, she says the beach is 200 meters, or like what's that in yards? Like 230 yards or something.
I'll take your word for that.
From our house, and we were on a family walk. I can't say how many there were, as I only looked in a small area. I was with my kids and dog and prepping for field work, so it was a short visit. But if you did count it, it would have exceeded hundreds.
Okay, she was on the family walk with her kids and her dog. Was it her dog that died?
It just says 1 dog was killed as a result of the mass stranding, according to the Afri Oceans Conservation Alliance, a local NGO. Now, I don't know about you, but they've got a much more advanced system for tracking pet deaths than they do here in the United States, because the pet gets hit by a dog, it's like, oh, dead dog.
So a pet gets hit by a dog? How does that happen?
Pet gets hit by a car. Hit and run dog.
Oh, a hit and run dog.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I think we just need to move on to the next story.
Right. This one isn't so much as a story as a headline and a photo. It says veterinarians treat exotic bird. They have actually spelt veterinarians wrong. That's why I was reading it wrong. It says treat exotic bird. Realize it's just a seagull covered in curry.
Does Tristan realize this is a podcast and people can't see this?
Well, yeah, but
that's why I show you so you can comment on it.
Yeah. So, Pat, here's the seagull covered in curry.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably making Tristan a little bit hungry because he likes his curry.
I would eat that bird raw.
Does that look like an exotic bird to you, Pat?
It looks like a golden bird, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it might be a phoenix.
Looks like it's from a video
It's
game.
a golden phoenix.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's it.
Phoenixes are not real, right? Or are they real?
Have you never been to Arizona?
No, that's true.
No, phoenixes are real.
Is that where the phoenixes are from? Is Arizona?
No, because if you set fire to them, they rise up again from the ashes.
So that's why Phoenix is so hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's called Phoenix. It's named after the bird.
So the bird's not named after the city?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's named
so
after the bird.
The other way around. Isn't that what's on the front of a Trans Am as a phoenix? Like the big bird?
Well, Big Bird as in Sesame Street, Big Bird.
No, the big bird on the hood of Trans Ams. Isn't that a phoenix?
So is the Trans Am a bird?
No, it's a Pontiac.
Okay. Is that the same as a Cadillac?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's a Phoenix then.
They don't make Pontiacs anymore, I don't think.
No, it's unfortunate. It's one of my favorite car companies, but still have a Pontiac, but it's an old one. Yeah, I do miss Pontiacs, especially
Phoenix?
the ones with the phoenixes. Yes.
Yeah. So toxic people could become a reality, and we're not talking about Meghan Markle. Humans could be on an evolutionary path to developing venomous saliva. What do you think about that, Pat?
I'm thinking it could come in handy.
Well, yeah, you spit at somebody and kind of poison them.
Kind of goes back to the pufferfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a theme here. You've actually kind of put these together where you could actually call this kind of a theme that's going on. I mean,
basically animals being assholes. I don't know.
Yeah, something along those lines. So venomous. So would you have to spit in somebody's mouth or just spit on them?
I don't know. Depends on the venom, how powerful it is, because some of it can be absorbed in the skin. I mean, like, if you even touch a poisonous toad inappropriately, it can be absorbed through your skin.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like poison ivy. You know, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, except not an animal. Yeah, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. It doesn't say kind of how many years we're going to have to wait, but I'm assuming it's probably more than like 10 or 20. So
yeah, probably true.
I was looking for a date on it. I was thinking like they were going to bring it in, you know, like humans have poisonous venom in like 2026. But
so how bad would that be if we figure that out while we're on our way to Mars? Like Elon Musk put some people on this ship to Mars, and then all of a sudden they figure out one of those people have this problem.
It's a benefit. It's not a problem. It's an evolutionary benefit.
But the Martians would be immune to it.
I don't know. They might be more susceptible to it.
Oh, that's a good point.
There's only one way to tell.
How?
French kiss a Martian.
Maybe that's why we drink alien ale beer.
We can test the toxicity of our saliva on alien life forms by French kissing them.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of alien ale beer, Pat, you're enjoying an alien ale beer here today.
I am enjoying alien ale.
Yes.
It's one of the finer beers.
Yes, we are all enjoying an alien ale while we record this, you know, late on a Friday.
Some woman who's complaining a bit, I think. She's left horrified after her accountant boyfriend sends her an invoice for their first ever romantic weekend away, complete with a spreadsheet breaking down every cost to the cent. I don't know what she's whining about.
There's no name of the person, right?
What, in case we want to hire them?
Well, I'm just making sure it wasn't me. It sounds like something I would do.
Oh, no. It says an unnamed woman voiced her upset after her boyfriend sent her an itemized invoice for $167.99 to cover her half of their trip away. She said she would have been happy to pay for half of the weekend, but she felt weird that her accountant partner was treating her like a client.
Now, do you think he only did that because he was disappointed with how the weekend went?
Well, I think she's incriminated herself a bit here because she says she's always insisted on going halves on any dates. And so when somebody actually calls her out on it and says, all right, then, here it is broken down, then she gets all pissy about it.
Well, okay, exactly. So he just broke it out and he was trying to be fair. If she went up and said, look, you know, let's split this, he's saying, okay, you know, I covered everything. I'm basically offering you some credit. here's what you owe me, and here's a breakdown, so I'm not trying to rip you off or anything like that. It's not like I had a buy one, get one free coupon, and my part's free.
Yeah, I would have paid for that.
I don't see anything wrong with this.
Yeah, I don't either. I think she's just whinging. Do you remember that story we did once about the robot which was hitchhiking across the world and hitchhiking across the United States, and it got to Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, and then it got beaten up and ripped apart?
Right.
Yeah, it's a sad story, that one.
It is.
Apparently a man was shot dead in Philadelphia while filming a movie to end gun violence.
Oh, man. So like a documentary about it?
Yeah.
So I guess we're not going to get to see that movie because he didn't get to finish it.
No. He was inside a house.
Unless, though, maybe he was filming the last scene. I mean, that'd be a heck of a way for the movie to end.
Yeah. He was actually inside a house in North Philadelphia near the 1900 block. So if anybody's listening, don't move there.
Why did I just get the Prince of Bel-Air theme in my head now?
I don't know.
Or that was West Philadelphia.
Talking to individuals whose family members were victims of gun violence. He went outside around 8 p.m. to get extra equipment and was shot multiple times. So there's a lesson there to be learned. It's a tragic story, but...
Yeah, don't make films.
Well, yeah, and don't live in Philadelphia.
Sorry to all of our Philadelphia listeners
and
there.
Also take all the equipment in the house the first time round.
Right.
Yeah. So there's 3 lessons to be learned from that. Follow those steps. You're immune from gun violence.
If they would have just moved to California, they would have been safe.
Yeah, because they don't have guns in California. No gun violence in California.
I'm pretty sure that's true.
Yeah. Syrian illegal immigrants disguise themselves as volleyball team. Why do you think volleyball? Is that easier to disguise yourself as a volleyball team?
You don't need a lot of equipment.
Pat, you know a lot about, baseball and softball and stuff. Is it hard to kind of disguise yourself as a softball team?
Well, you need some equipment. I think that's probably the reason volleyball.
Right. What don't they need a net and a ball?
Provided by the venue.
Oh.
But then how do you know they're volleyball players unless they're wearing those tight shorts? Because I'm thinking this is probably like a bunch of men as normal. So how do they dress up as volleyball players? Because we know how female volleyball players look. But that's the only reason we watch it with the sound off.
Sure.
But, I don't know how male volleyball players look.
But is it beach volleyball or inside volleyball? Because that's 2 different uniforms.
It is, yeah.
Don't they have a lot of sand in Syria, so it's probably beach volleyball?
Yeah. If we could have made a better job of having a wall there'd have been a lot more sand, to be honest. But
probably.
Yeah. It says a group
of... If that's true, though, there'd be a lot less volleyball.
Be a lot more beach volleyball.
Yeah, but if you get rid of all the players, you can't play as much volleyball. Tournaments will take much less time.
Yeah, that is true, actually.
Yeah.
A group of Syrian illegal immigrants were arrested at an airport in Athens over the weekend, don't know what weekend, after pretending to be a volleyball team with the goal of illegally entering Austria. So they're in Greece, right? Athens.
Right. From Syria in Greece.
Trying to get into Austria. I mean, what's wrong with Greece? It's a lovely country.
So I guess there wasn't a direct flight?
Here we go. The 9 men attempted to board a flight. So it's actually men and pretended to be a volleyball team dressed in similar tracksuits, which are kind of like warm-up suits.
Okay.
Yeah. According to a report from the Greek newspaper Protothema, the 9 men were also found in possession of fake Romanian passports and were arrested after they came under suspicion from security guards working at the airport.
Is volleyball really that big in Austria?
I think it would be bigger in Romania.
Yeah, because there's too many kangaroos in Austria.
Yeah, that's true. Plus, it's like the other side of the world. So,
right.
Yeah.
It's a long ways to go to play volleyball against kangaroos.
So, in our latest COVID scare, cuddling after lockdown may cause mutations, says virology expert. What do you think about that, Pat?
Well, I'm wondering if those are the mutations that you get that shoot poisonous mucus.
Well, I was thinking more about X-Men type mutations.
Hang on, Pat might be onto something here. What if that's one of those after effects of COVID?
Well, you can do a snot rocket and it's like poisonous.
Yeah, and then it's this mutated form of COVID now.
Yeah, it's going to take a few years of practice to really get that to be...
Unless you're a farmer.
Good.
They're really good at that.
What?
Snot rockets.
Farmers are?
Yes.
Farmers insurance or farmers?
No, farmers that actually grow stuff.
Okay.
Ranchers too. They don't grow anything. They just take care of the cows.
I thought they just spit.
No.
They do the snot rocket
Yeah,
thing?
they do.
What, over our produce that we eat and we buy fresh at Kroger?
Yes. Well, only the American ones, though. I think all our produce from Kroger comes from, like, Mexico.
Does it?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I believe you. So a leading British molecular virology expert has urged people to refrain from hugging their loved ones, even as lockdown restrictions are eased in Britain, as contact may enable the virus to mutate. Oh, I thought they were talking about mutating people.
Oh, me too. But I could also see, since the guy's British, maybe he just doesn't want to hug his family.
Well, yeah, it doesn't show a picture of him or his wife or his relatives, so that's
See, to me,
probably
that
the most likely
would be pertinent
theory.
information we need to know.
He said, they may be tempted to hug their grandchildren or hug the family members, but it's incredibly important that they don't do that. I don't want to be a doom merchant, but the more risks we take, the more chance we have of the virus coming back and biting us. Now, when did the virus grow teeth?
I don't know. I didn't know it bit. Now I'm even more concerned.
Now, I wasn't scared of the coronavirus before, but now it's got teeth.
It almost reminds me of some of those little animations.
Yeah.
And do you think it looks like a little cartoon ball that bounces around and then bites you?
Get this, he's a professor, right? So he's using very professorial language here. He says, there's still a lot of virus out there.
That's not very professorial.
There's a lot of virus out there.
No.
It's like 12.
You know
12
what?
virus.
Even you reading that in your accent, that doesn't sound like a very British sentence either.
It doesn't, does it?
No.
It's anecdotally, we've all witnessed it. Various surveys suggest some people who've had a single dose of vaccine may feel like they've been protected, and they're having visitors and they're meeting up with their family. And he goes on to warn that human contact could lead to mutations of the Chinese coronavirus, which could become immune to vaccines. Sounds a lot scary.
That is scary. So
Scary BS. I think.
Well, yeah, but see, once again, you're trying to kind of bring us down again. Now, I thought we were almost over this age of COVID, and now you're saying this next wave, the virus is going to bite you. I guess at least you'd know when it hit, right? It's like when you get a mosquito bite, you're like, oh, okay, I may or may not have just got malaria.
Right.
So now, all of a sudden, I think I just got COVID. I got a COVID bite.
Pat, you had COVID. Do you remember being bitten shortly before getting it?
No, and that's the bummer. I didn't realize that I had it.
Do you think that maybe your wife, Karen, she got bit by the virus, and then when she was biting you during lovemaking, you somehow contracted the virus from her then? Or do you think maybe
I can't confirm or deny that may have happened.
Yeah.
What if Karen got bit by the virus and they cuddled, and that's how Pat got the virus?
Right. So we're going to expect a mutation soon.
Yes.
So
maybe Pat has the evil COVID saliva from the mutation of cuddling.
Where it's going to be on an island with Pat Beaman, who has grown an extra arm out of his back.
Yes.
Yeah. I look forward to that episode.
The sad part is, though, Pat still doesn't do video on his podcast, so we'll never be able to see the third arm sticking out of his back.
Oh, if I get a baby arm, you'll have video.
Okay.
Oh, he's going to be doing some crazy breakdowns and moves with that extra arm growing out.
Not only
of his
that,
back.
now we're going to have to get a hold of some folks to set him up some video just in
We're
case.
going to play some Beastie Boys. He's going to be doing some breakdancing.
I like it.
He's going to be spinning on that arm out of his back and be brilliant. See, I told you this was going to be a happier news episode than the other ones.
Yeah, at least we spun that one more to a happy tune.
Positively.
Yeah.
We're all about positivity.
Yes.
So this next one is also positive. Off-duty firefighter who moonlights as a beekeeper, because why not, saves New Mexico man from a swarm of 15,000 bees that flew into his car through an open window as he left the grocery store.
Why did the bees target that dude's car? Did he buy a bunch of honey?
I don't know. Pat, I want you to explain this story, how you think it went before I actually read how it went.
Well,
so the firefighter, first of all, let's get to him. He moonlights as a beekeeper.
But I assume he was at the grocery store in his capacity as a firefighter. If you ask me to speculate...
No, he said off-duty.
So
off-duty firefighter.
Oh, yeah.
He's off-duty.
Right. So it wasn't a 911 call.
No, he's
gotcha.
off-duty.
Okay. So just hanging out. Just he's off work.
Yeah.
But has his beekeeper suit with him, I guess.
I mean, talk about happenstance,
Yeah.
Happenstance, however you pronounce it. Or sliding doors, as you like to refer to it in movie terms.
Yes.
Yeah. But just imagine that. The one thing you do as an off kind of like project or job, and you get to do it and save somebody's life at a grocery store.
Right. It's kind of like when like single moms travel on airplanes and somebody has a medical emergency and they have essential oils with them.
Yeah.
Then they can immediately heal them
That is
whenever
true.
they have a problem on an airplane.
Yeah. So the Albertson shopper returned to their car around 4 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. After beginning to drive away, they discovered thousands of bees in the car.
Wait, now hang on. You said 15,000 bees.
15,000. So as he was driving away, that's when they discovered there's bees in the car. Now,
I get in my car and there's a
Right.
fly in the
Yeah,
car.
exactly,
I
yeah.
know that before I
Yeah.
pull out of the parking
right,
lot.
I'll pull over and I'll be like punching the windshield and
Yeah.
everything. There's 15,000 bees. Now, I'm not the most observant person sometimes, but I'm pretty much telling there's 15,000 bees in the car.
But he could have been driving a limo.
Or a, what are those cars with the dead bodies in them called?
Teslas?
No, you're thinking of Ford Focus. No,
Oh, hearse.
Hearses.
A hearse.
Yeah, Hearses.
That's a good
I
point.
get that confused with Hearses Kisses,
Yeah,
but that's Hershey's, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I thought it was a really bad brand name until I kind of actually...
I'm pretty sure Hershey's doesn't
it
make
down.
cars, though.
So, off-duty firefighter, we're going to give him a name check. Jesse Johnson was called to the scene because he's a part-time beekeeper. I mean, who knew that? And was able to relocate all of the bees to his own property. Only one person, the store's security guard, was stung during the incident. This was
Wait.
in New Mexico, by the way.
Okay, so dude gets in his car, figures out, oh, there's a bunch of bees, gets out of the car, calls the beekeeper dude, and somehow the security guard gets stung?
Yeah.
See,
They
something...
just don't pay him enough, do they?
Yeah, that's too bad about security guard brutality in this world today
Yeah.
with the bees.
Yeah. Could have been pufferfish. That would have been worse.
But I wonder, did the off-duty firefighter / amateur beekeeper just drive the dude's car to his house and tell him, all right, guys, new house, and they just all flew out of the car?
I don't know, because you have to grab the queen and then the rest follow.
Oh, that makes sense. Kind of like the British monarchy.
Yeah. If you
Gotcha.
grab the queen, the rest will follow.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, I do have one sad article here.
Wow.
SpongeBob is the latest victim of cancel culture.
No,
Yes.
this cannot
No.
be possible. I don't believe you.
Quarantined crab episode about a clam flu pandemic is pulled because it might stoke anti-Asian hate, and one where characters break into a woman's house and steal her underwear. I think there's 2 separate episodes, but
What ocean does SpongeBob live in?
Indian Ocean, if he's got any sense.
Right, that's kind of what I figured.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad about the clam virus,
Clam flu.
the clam flu. Well, virus
Clam
is
means something else in English.
food.
No, it means something else in English.
Oh,
It means ladies' private bits.
Yeah.
Not the boobs, the other bit. The other private bit. Yeah, that's what a clam is. So the clam flu, that sounds like it might be a venereal disease.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I never put those 2 things together.
Yeah. Pat, have you ever had the clam flu?
I have not.
You have not?
I've had clam chowder.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's much better in New England than it is down here in Texas. I got to say, that is one thing we lack down here, is someplace that has actually very good clam chowder.
Yeah. Now, can you get the clam flu from clam chowder?
Only the Boston style.
Oh, okay.
If you, or not the Boston, it's the, what's the red one? The New York style, or it's
I've never
some,
had it.
Manhattan.
I've never eaten
Manhattan clam chowder's red. New England clam chowder's white.
it.
Yeah, so you always want to eat the New England clam chowder. If you eat the Manhattan one, you can get the clam flu.
Okay.
So
I should put a warning on the products.
I think they do,
Yeah.
but people just don't pay attention.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same people that drink bleach and eat Tide Pods. I'm
Right.
pretty sure there's warning on there too, but they
Yeah.
just ignore it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to love freedom. We're going to do what we want to do.
Yeah. Especially here in Texas.
Yes.
So the episodes are no longer available to stream on Paramount Plus and can't be purchased on various digital marketplaces, which means as soon as this podcast is over, I'm going home and downloading the episodes on BitTorrent. But anyway, so Quarantined Crab was deemed insensitive due to the real-life pandemic. The episode can also be interpreted as problematically displaying exclusion. Midlife crustacean was deemed inappropriate due to the panty raid at the end. I have not seen those episodes.
No, I haven't either, and I kind of feel sorry for SpongeBob. I mean, he always tried to be so positive and look at life through, kind of rose-colored glasses, working in a little fish fry factory or whatever it was, a little burger joint. And the good thing is, where he lived, he was able to own a house on the salary of somebody that made Krabby Patties.
Yeah, but doesn't he live in a pineapple?
Yeah, but it's still a house. And remember, Patrick was unemployed and he lived next door.
True. Oh, as we have Patrick here.
And, we do have a Patrick here.
One of the episodes my son got fixated on was when Patrick was working at the Krusty Krab. Not Beaman.
Oh.
Patrick Starfish.
Patrick Starfish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody calls and say, hey, is this the Krusty Krab? And he goes, no, this is Patrick. And then somebody else calls and says, hey, is this the Krusty Krab? He goes, no, this is Patrick. And somebody calls again, like, hey, is this the Krusty Krab? No, this is Patrick. And SpongeBob has to remind him, hey, Patrick, that's the name of the restaurant. So, there's a life lesson in there, Pat, for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll remember that when I'm at the Krusty Krab.
You remember that. You remember that when you're in the Krusty Krab. It's about the restaurant. It's not about you, Pat. Season 12, Quarantined Crab. They're spelt quarantined with a K at the beginning, which is brilliant, but it makes me mispronounce the word.
There are 12 seasons of SpongeBob?
Oh, probably more.
Yeah, because this one would have been before.
Right.
I think SpongeBob just stopped making episodes not that long ago.
It says many of the main characters were quarantined at the Krusty Krab by the health inspector, leading the characters to try figuring out who has the illness.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch that one.
Yeah, I'll download it again. And I'll get the... Oh, it even tells you, like, midlife crustacean, where they do the panty raid, was in season 3, and they stopped airing that on Nickelodeon back in 2018. Is that the year when stealing ladies' panties became a sensitive issue?
I thought that was all part of just going to college and being in a fraternity.
So here's one which is going to annoy everybody listening. Eating just 2 sausages a week increases your risk of heart disease and early death by up to 51%.
Oh, okay. So if you eat more, you're okay?
Well, I don't know. I was wondering if, like...
Because you said eating...
if you eat 4, does it increase it by 102%?
No, because it said just 2 sausages. So you got to eat more sausages so you don't have the problem.
Right. That's probably true, actually. So they normally come in packs of 6, right? Sausages?
Well, it depends on the sausage.
Well...
And it depends on the brand and all that. But it's usually more than 2 in there.
Yeah. So I think to be safe, you just need to eat all 6 sausages.
Yes.
But if we're wrong, we've actually increased your risk of heart disease and death by 153%.
No, I'm going to stick to our logic.
All right.
Just don't... If you're going to eat sausage, make sure you eat more than 2 sausages a week.
Yeah.
I wonder what happens if you only have 1 a week.
Well, I mean, this study, it comes from a reputable university, McMaster University. You know where that is?
I don't.
You don't? And, you're going to love this one, Shepard. And Hamilton Health Sciences in Canada. So this is automatically BS. Mm-hmm. Track the diets and health outcomes of 134,297 people from 21 countries spanning 5 continents.
But what are they doing in other countries? Why can't they just stay in Canada?
Well, they're measuring people who are eating sausages.
Why can't they just stay in Canada? Why can't they just deal with Canadian bacon? You know, Canadian bacon is just ham. This has been some kind of a absolute conspiracy theory that, once again, is why Canadians frustrate me. They have ham, they call it Canadian bacon, and they've fooled Americans for bacon, years.
It's a poor man's bacon.
It is.
How close is too close? Meet the sisters who are so obsessed with each other that they sleep in the same bed with their siblings' husband, use the bathroom in front of each other, swap underwear, and even share a boyfriend. Now, do I need to reread that one, Pat, for you to break that down?
No, we need to get deeper into this story.
Yeah, all right.
Because, like, this swap underwear...
Yeah.
Here, I'm done with it. You can use it, or when it's clean.
So...
Oh, that's a good point, though.
What's that?
That is a detail we need to figure out on that.
What about underwear?
Well, yeah, but it could be one of those where it's like, okay, I get this pair in the morning and you get it in the afternoon.
But Will's having trouble with that.
No, he's trying to figure out why Sandra chose this time to come up near the door and just start making noise.
Yeah. that one man band. You see him. There's people with the drums and the cymbals and the knee cymbals just going to go. There's a new show on TLC, which, if you remember from episode 1 of In Other News, I said that's the one which shows like the ads about women's sanitary products, like every third commercial. Yes. Well, they've got a new show called Extreme Sisters, right? So I don't know how many episodes this is going to run for. But it chronicles the lives of 5 sets of sisters who are a little too close for comfort. The show stars identical twins, Anna and Lucy DeSink from Australia, who want to have babies at the same time with their shared boyfriend, Ben. Bet Ben's happy, isn't he?
It depends.
Ben is living the life.
I mean, you might think Ben's happy, but Ben might not be happy at all.
Yeah. Well, there's no picture of the sisters, so
see, so now we don't know how happy Ben is.
We know Pat would find them attractive, but I don't know kind of if it would pass in the wolf and the shepherd standards of attractivity.
Probably not, since they're from Australia.
So not only do they dress alike, but they are also married to identical twin hold on, this is a different pair of identical twins, because that didn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, now you've lost
me. All right,
me.
then. So I'm guessing this is another episode. Identical twins Brittany and Brianna Dean not only dress alike, but they're also married to identical twin brothers Josh and Jeremy Salyers. Oh, and there's some more. As for Christina and Jessica, they consider each other soulmates, and their unbreakable bond led to them getting divorced at the same time.
I thought, though, identical twins were required to dress alike.
Only the girls.
Right.
Well, boys don't.
No, the boys don't, but the girls do.
No, because girls copy each other all the time anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're taught that way at birth, so that part's not a surprise. I mean, every picture you ever see, they are always wearing the same thing, so that part I'm not really surprised about. But I'm also thinking, like, the ones that got the divorce at the same time, got to go back to the buy one, get one free thing.
Right.
I mean, that maybe there's some financial benefit to this, and they're just saving money.
Yeah.
Their lives cost half as much as a non-twin triplet or whatever does. Yeah. So maybe they're smarter than we are.
I was looking for a buy one, get one free deal when I got my girlfriend, but apparently it's just buy one, get none free. So. I don't have any buyer's remorse. I'm just saying I was just looking for a bargain.
Kind of harkens back to the mail order bride episode. You just didn't want to disclose that before with the girlfriend, but I get that.
So is another of an animal being an asshole, but I love this particular species of animal, so I won't hear a bad word said against it. Terrifying moment. Angry Octopus attacks a lifeguard standing on the shore moments before wrapping his tentacles around his neck.
Okay, before you go any farther.
Yeah.
I'm on the side of the octopus.
Well, me too. I love octopi.
Yeah. I mean, we know octopuses.
I love more than one octopus.
Or
I love
octopi. Yeah, if that's how you say it.
Do you love octopuses, Pat?
I have seen an octopus in its natural habitat, but I'll be honest with you, I'm taking the lifeguard in this one.
No, well,
I like to be the devil's advocate.
All right, state your case.
He walks on 2 feet just like I do. He's out there trying to keep the beach safe, looking out for people, probably hunting honeys. And an octopus comes out of nowhere, apparently, walks up to him and slathers him with tentacles.
But what if the octopus was also trying to keep the beach safe because that's an entryway into his home, and he's just playing border patrol?
Well, here's where the details kind of confuse the story a little bit. For the first time in any of our articles. A former lifeguard. So now he's a former lifeguard. So now he's not an upstanding member of society.
Absolutely, that does make a difference.
Now he could...
Because the octopus took his job because he was doing a better job than the lifeguard.
Well,
we don't know that yet.
True.
It says he's been viciously attacked, not just attacked, by an angry octopus.
How do you determine if the octopus is angry?
Well, his mouth is in a downturned position.
Well, more importantly, why is he angry? That's what it's about.
Probably because the lifeguard wasn't doing his job keeping the beach safe. So the octopus said, you know what? I'm going to be a vigilante here. I'm going to take everything into my own 8 hands, and I'm going to fix this beach.
You know, we're not one for sensationalism, but we will read sensationalism if we see it. The next 2 points on this article says, the father of one, not the octopus, the former lifeguard, was launched at by the sea monster in Dunsborough in WA. What state's that? WA, is that Washington?
Washington.
Yeah. Mr. Carlson, who I'm guessing is the former lifeguard, described the animal as the angriest octopus in Geograph Bay. So I'm guessing he's seen a few angry ones and thought this one was more pissed off than most.
I do see some sensationalism in this.
Yeah.
Pat, you can't disagree with that, right?
Yeah.
It's
still
getting
taking his
extraordinary, no question.
Right. Well, I shall continue further with the story. A former lifeguard has been attacked at an idyllic holiday spot. I don't think there was anywhere idyllic in Washington, except the bit where they filmed part of the Twilight movies. Was that Washington? All the woods and forests and stuff?
Or Oregon. Yeah. It was probably just
one
filmed in California, but they told everybody
there, yeah.
it was up there.
So at the idyllic holiday spot by an angry octopus that wrapped its tentacles around his neck. Now, there is more to this story, Pat, but I want to hear your defense for the...
I need to hear from the octopus first.
All right. Yeah, it doesn't mention his name, his age, or whether he's married or not.
See, so octopus. It's unfair. This is that media bias towards octopus, and I've talked about this a lot. That for some reason, like when we talked about the mantis shrimp, I don't understand why mainstream media has such an aversion to sea creatures.
I don't know.
That's why this show does such a service to sea creatures.
Well, look what they did to SpongeBob.
Right,
it's the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I think the final points in this story probably tell us all we need to know.
Okay.
What are those points, Tristan?
Point number one, why does Sandra keep doing out there that she's so bored because we're having our little treehouse meeting in here?
Is she doing CrossFit?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Now she's moving furniture out there.
Either that or some...
Let's finish this up.
Sir Lance Carlson, 34, first saw the marine creature when it lashed out at a seagull near Ramada Resort at Geograph Bay in Dunsborough, Western Australia. Oh, so WA isn't Washington. It stood for Western Australia.
Oh.
While walking with his 2-year-old daughter on the beach, he videoed the octopus, which probably explains why it got pissed, splaying in the crystal clear water. See how they're trying to sell the old holiday destination in the crystal clear water.
But back up. Was this the same seagull that looked like the phoenix?
Well, when they're in the air and they're more than 30 yards away, they all look like phoenixes, except, for the smoke rising from the...
See, it could have been that same phoenix that set the octopus off. Like, this guy is about to attack my homeland. I got to get out on this beach, and I got to take care of this phoenix. And then this former I keep calling him bodyguard. I don't know why. This former lifeguard just has to get in the middle of the animal kingdom, and that's just not fair.
Well, it says... He was videoing it, and then it pounced on his neck when he turned his back, which I think the lesson is, don't turn your back on an angry octopus.
Or like a Hollywood celebrity gets upset when the paparazzi follows him. Right. I mean, this might have been a famous octopus. We don't know. And maybe that's why they want to have him remain unnamed. Well, with all that said, thanks for tuning into this episode of In Other News. Pat Beaman from On an Island with Pat Beaman. Thanks for joining us again.
And we're looking forward to that third arm growing out your back, mate.
Absolutely. And we will catch you guys on the next one.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Wolf and the Shepherd podcast. If you like what you just heard, we hope you'll pass along our web address, thewolfandtheshepherd.com, to your friends and colleagues. And please leave us a positive review on iTunes when you get a chance. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for additional content. Join us next time for another episode of The Wolf and the Shepherd.